let me get in Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, you know, leaders of the Congress party and the India alliance, like Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, said that BJP will cross 200, but won't form government in phase two. In phase one, by phase two, they kept saying it will be less than 200, and that's when Sam Pitroda came in and really lit it up for the BJP. And while Rahul Gandhi was doing his X-rays, Sam Pitroda was talking about inheritance tax. It really opened up this election. So Sanjay Jha, do you think between phase one and phase two, something really happened on the ground and in the war rooms of political parties on both sides, given the manner in which this election was being fought?
Navika, I think that's a very valid question. I mean, we all know it. I think everybody on the panel is a veteran in their own domain. Elections is a very dynamic process, right? And I think especially in India, when it's played out over such a long period of time, there is going to be a very changing narrative by one party or one alliance, and the other party then, kind of poses a counter, shall we say, option for the voters. So there is only a few takeaways. I think we have discussed it till the cows come home. So let me just focus on one or two points that I think are relevant. Number one is that I don't think in this election, contrary to BJP's expectations, the Ram Mandir, a very emotive issue, undoubtedly, did not become a factor they were banking on. I would like you to go back to when Narendra Modi and the BJP were talking about 370, 400. It was always more gaslighting than confidence. And I think they were hoping that the issue of the Ram Mandir temple will become their big USP in this election. I think minus when they realized that that's not playing out, I think they got into this polarization game following the first phase, where there was an element of panic, because if the voting is low, then it becomes easier for an opposing party to defeat a popular party, because the gap that you need to cover arithmetically is much lower. The second point is this election has become one on issues of the common man. When it becomes issues away from a personality-centric character or from an emotive issue, then it is a very neutral fight. Then it's a question of whether the people see the BJP having delivered or have they failed. And if they have failed, can they continue to believe and have faith in Mr. Modi? One of the points that some people have been making is, yes, there are problems of unemployment and inflation and corruption and poor governance, but will they still believe that Mr. Modi is the solution? And I don't think that's right, because Mr. Modi and his party is the cause of the problem. So when you look at unemployment, food inflation, the entire issue of how small businesses have suffered, rural wages have been down, corruption is high, electoral bonds, etc., etc. I don't think people who see these problems as affecting them will trust in going back to Mr. Modi's government, because over 10 years, they are the cause of the problem. So I see a definite pro-India alliance, I would say, voting. I would say that progressively, the longer this election has gone, the more it has actually favored the India alliance. Mr. Modi and
have you seen that, or are you hoping for that? I don't know, Sanjay Jha, but let me get in the cephalogist first before I get in the journalist. Cephalogist, I want to quickly ask you, no Ram Leher, election on issues, not on personalities, and issues were problems for people created by Modi, and therefore they didn't go back. Do you agree with that analysis, Yashwant Deshmukh?
Well, when I said after the phase one and like that it's a zero wave election, it was misquoted to a large extent, When I said zero wave, I was coming from the idea of Jwar and Bhata kind of thing, tide comes and tide goes back, and, it's in that way. So it's like 14, there was a tsunami, then there was a further wave in the 19, and now we are not looking at a further wave, But has the water gone back? That's the big question. Now, the question is, for a reverse tsunami or whatever, whichever way you want to say that, okay, this is now reverting the other side in a really huge way. I maintain only on one empirical set of data. That is, in the last 20 years or so, the gap between the Congress and the BJP, between the baseline of 1999 and 2019, it is from the +4 for the Congress to -18 for the Congress between the two parties. So the gap has widened to 22% votes in that way. Now, if you want to turn around that gap of 22%, you need a tidal wave or you need a tsunami in favor of the Congress going the other way around. And when you have that kind of a massive tsunami, you can see the signs very much on the ground, on the streets. I know many a times my friends tell me that there is an undercurrent or wave which is not seen, and you will be surprised like 2004. I'm sorry, because as a journalist, apart from being a pollster, I also happen to be a journalist. And whenever I talk to all the reporter friends, all the friends who are on the ground, that we have been reporting big deal of anxiety, big deal of economic distress for more than 2 years now. Almost 70% of people saying that running household has become difficult. All those things sea water trackers have been reporting. So don't tell me that we have not been reporting. But the thing is, after that, we also ask the question, all these problems, all these situations, which party or leader you feel is likely to give a solution to this? And that is where always in the last so many years non-stop, Mr. Modi has been scoring 2:1 over Mr. Rahul Gandhi. BJP has been scoring 2:1 over Congress. So that is where I'm asking, do you sense that kind of reverse tsunami?
Okay, so you are saying a swing factor greater than 22% is what the Congress would probably need if it wants, to push back the BJP. तो फिर आनंद रंगनाथन, वो जो आजकल एक मुहावरा बन गया है, आएगा तो मोदी ही, जिससे पूछो वो कहता है, या तो कहता है अब की बार 400 पार नहीं कहता, तो कहता है नंबर छोड़ो यार, आएगा तो मोदी ही. Do you believe then the